Hello everyone, this is 60, and while I don't want to waste time when we're about to get into the video recap, I just want to make sure that it's known that this video and this channel has no bias one way or the other, and all of the thoughts and phrases you hear in this recap are Swoop's words and not mine. This video is meant to recap the highlights and save you some time, so let's get to it. Swoop released a video called How Glam&Gore Used James Charles Jeffree Star in the Black Community, Why I'm Done with Mykie, Receipts. The first 5 minutes, she explains that Mykie used a lot of microaggressions around her. She recalled a time where Mykie was upset with her because Swoop had used surprise footage from when she had dog sat for her in a video. She said Mykie asked her to lie a lot for her and cover for her, and that she stopped hanging out with her more and more so that she wouldn't be put in those kinds of situations. She claimed that Mykie would trash on James Charles a ton. She goes on to talk about the microaggressions that Mykie used to tweet. The tweet says, I've had several women of color tell me they don't want me to help them at MAC because I'm white and can't help them. She also said, sorry to be blunt, but racism isn't a dick measuring contest. You're saying whites can't experience it. I'm telling you, I have. She says that Mykie made a video where she put bruises all over her face and called it the Rihanna-inspired makeup tutorial. She said Mykie also made a tutorial about the Asian man that was beat up and assaulted by authorities on an American Airlines flight when she recreated his bloody face. The public didn't respond well to it, and she was forced to apologize. Swoop said that Mykie still continued to defend it and complained that people had an issue with it. Swoop said that she was in a lot of pain and relapsed into a major depression and reached out to Mykie. She explained her stress being a minority in the industry, and Mykie responded with this text. It's tough because from my perspective, I feel like you won't get handed right now on YouTube specifically unless you're a minority in some sense of the word, be it anything but white or part of the LGBT community. But everyone else YouTube has pushed in recent years after the era of the Tyler Oakleys and Joey Graceffas have been minority. Or not straight. She said that during those texts, Mykie took away her voice and invalidated her experience. Mykie said, I'm just saying, to be honest, it's tough for me to weigh in with practical advice there because from my own perspective, I feel the same thing from the opposite side, where I look at two of the most controversial ever beauty gurus growing effing rapidly, one of whom does content no better or more clever than my own and has less talent and does less of the work himself. She draws the conclusion to the text being about Jeffree and James. She points out that Mykie has been on both Jeffree and James's channel, but has never had them on her channel. She says that the trending list on YouTube is handpicked by YouTube, not based on views, and that it's predominantly white people. She shows that Mykie has been on the trending page 12 times. In this text that Swoop shows, she says that Mykie would say this a lot. I think I mentioned this, but Peter has heard from several actor friends of his that they've been turned down repeatedly for roles because they're essentially too white. That Hollywood is mostly only looking for ethnically ambiguous now. So Swoop reads from a source called the Hollywood Diversity Report, and it shows that the lead roles in the film in 2019, 20% are everyone else and 80% are white. She also shows that 87% of the directors are white as compared to 12% as everyone else, and that 92% of the writers are white and 8% are everyone else. So Swoop goes on to talk about this and how she did end up pushing back against Mykie, and she said, yeah, like I said, there's a small inclusivity trend, but it's nowhere near balanced. And then she shows where Mykie pushed back towards Swoop again. And it says, but my point is, it looks to me like the opportunists are here more than ever for someone mixed. Then she goes on to show the definition of gaslighting. Gaslighting is the attempt of one person to override another person's reality. It is a tactic used for getting power and control. She ends up showing a couple more text messages of Mykie gaslighting her. Swoop points out that Mykie posted a video called Doing a Full Face of Glam on a Treadmill 1 month later than Kenneth Senegal's video and never gave him credit. She ends up showing the tweet where Kenneth made mention of this on Twitter, saying, at Glam&Gore, hey love, and then posted a link to her channel. And that how Mykie responded and said, baby, you don't follow me, and that's totally cool, but if you did, you'd know that I'm the first to give credit where credit is due. When I'm recreating something, I have zero qualms with that. I haven't seen your video, but cool, we both thought to do our makeup on a treadmill. Yeah, I don't follow you. Your work is sickening, though. Just a huge coincidence that was brought to my attention by subscribers. Usually people do their research, etc. That is all. Happy face, hearts. Great minds think alike. That's what they always say. Keep shining. Star emoji. Swoop brings up that to this day, Glam&Gore, Mykie, has still not given Kenneth credit. She goes on to explain how Mykie took part in performative activism with this tweet. I've lost hundreds of followers on Instagram every day in the past few days for being more vocal than usual, and it feels so good. Who knew this is all it took to weed out the racists? Hashtag Black Lives Matter. This is the second week in a row that I've lost 12,000 followers on Instagram. That's 24,000 people on the wrong side of history that I'm happy to never interact with again. Then she puts up this graph to show how that actually was not true. She said that Mykie used the trauma of the Black community to gain those followers while making herself seem a victim of it. Swoop said she shared her movie called Unspoken about suicide and depression for the first time with Mykie, and Mykie said some nice things about it before she went on to start trashing and saying negative things about Jeffrey and James. Swoop says that she knows that Mykie would never have Jeffrey on her channel because he's too controversial. She said that Mykie was trashing on James 2 days before her collab went public on his channel. She shows a picture where Mykie was talking to James Charles and took a screenshot of it, sent it to Swoop, and then said, like, F you, dude. She claimed a lot during the video that Mykie has a problem with gay men. Swoop said that Mykie ghosted her after a couple of texts after her movie came out until 5 days later when she asked her if Swoop was going to attend her birthday party. Mykie ended up saying, I don't understand the fascination with him at all. It's kind of incredible that the fastest growing MUAs in the beauty guru space are two gay men who are riddled with controversy. So Swoop ended up posting on Twitter a while after that, saying, the moment when you realize someone you thought was a good friend considers herself more valuable and worthwhile a person because she has a higher sub count than you, followed by that moment when you realize you need to stick with some better quality friends. Hashtag we are all worthwhile. Mykie ended up texting Swoop saying, sorry that the overlap in our audience has some speculating, but it makes me uncomfortable. You haven't publicly denounced the speculation, so it just allows people to continue to think maybe it's about me, unless you haven't denounced it because it is about me, in which case I wouldn't even know where to start there, since I wouldn't understand how that applies. So I'm saying this assuming it must not be. It must not be, but in which case, just want to be transparent with you that the silence in response to people naming me makes me uncomfortable. Swoop then goes to show that how she reached out to Mykie over a couple of months and was ghosted, that it was clear to her that because she didn't denounce a couple of people online, that she just scrubbed their entire relationship of 2 years, and she said it was really painful. Swoop then goes on to talk about how when she released her movie, she received a text from one of Mykie's friends, but wasn't sure if it was actually from him or if she wrote it. Swoop then goes on to talk about what happened after she tweeted out about her experience of sexual abuse by Ron Jeremy. Swoop tweeted, I'm tired of the continual excuses being made for people who use, abuse, manipulate, exploit, and harm other people, be it sexual assault, abuse, racism, or any form of oppression. Enough blaming the victim and allowing destructive people to move freely without accountability. I'm done living in the shadows, hiding my voice for the sake of not conflicting with others' reputations. It's their shame, not mine. She said after she tweeted that, she had heard from Mykie after about 7 months of silence. The text that she received says, JFC, just saw your tweet about Ron Jeremy and other interactions, and I'm so effing sorry. Not only has he sexually assaulted you, but how you were treated, and it was heartbreaking to know you've experienced much worse than that. I hope you've been doing as okay as one can with everything going on. And she didn't respond back, and Mykie ended up texting her again saying, maybe this is a dumb question, but are you okay with people sharing your story? I'd like to retweet to share it if it would help more people to see it, but also don't know if that's appropriate. Swoop had said that when she did ask Mykie to share her first movie that she had created, Mykie was upset that she had even asked, and then Swoop ended up apologizing. During this entire video, Swoop does go into very long explanations about why it affected her in certain ways and explaining why that did hurt her feelings and why what Mykie was doing was abusive and racist and microaggression. And while I didn't put that in the video, it is important if you want to hear more about those reasons to go to her video. I'm trying to make this short, so I'll just wrap up mostly of what she said in this final quote that she does put at the end of her video. She said, quote, I'm done with her because of the endless microaggressions which are racist. I'm done because from my perspective, she exploits Black trauma. She repeatedly made herself the victim of our oppression. She dragged women of color, gaslit me, belittles the success of LGBTQ plus creators, and trashes people she steps on to get to the top while devaluing us. That is why I am done. End quote. She said that Mykie still follows her for optics because it would look really bad to unfollow your Black friend during the civil rights movement. And she did go on to say straight to Mykie into the camera, please stop using us. Please stop using people. Basically, just please stop using people. Hi you guys, I just got done editing the video and I realized that it did run 10 minutes long, and that is pretty long for a 60-second tea video. I try to keep things short. I thought that the context was in the receipts for the kind of proof that you guys would want coming to a tea video. I hope you guys did find it useful, and if you liked it, please thumbs up. Think about subscribing. It would really help. This is a super small channel, and my whole point of this channel in these videos is to get information out to you without you guys having to spend a full hour of your time. And I'm not super animated. I try not to raise my voice a lot. I feel like YouTubers really like to scream a lot and have loud noises and stuff going on in the background. This is just for you guys to get the information. So I really hope you guys like the format. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and have an awesome day. And remember, everybody love everybody.